skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Rise and shine, it's your time. Skill up, raise the climb. Navigate, innovate. It's your fate, don't be late. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay.
If you're a new manager or hoping to be a new manager, join us in our exploration into what managers need to know. This program will set you up for success by building your knowledge and confidence in the skills you need to be effective. Hello, and welcome to the fourth session in our series looking at managing customer service. We began by defining what quality customer service is, and then talked about establishing a customer service mission that defines for your company and for your employees and for your customers what your sense of quality customer service is and what your commitment is to providing it. Last week, we looked at instilling a customer service mentality and the fact that there are moments of truth when customers come into contact with anyone in your organization, and you want your employees to all have a customer service mentality so that they can meet and exceed the mission that's been established. It is difficult, however, for employees to provide customer service that you want them to provide if there are not systems in place that support that. And so we're going to be looking at those systems today. Now, the quality management guru, W. Edwards Deming, said 85% of an employee's ability to perform successfully on the job depends upon the system. And by the system, he meant the policies, procedures, culture, and tools that are provided to the employees so that they can perform their job. And we're going to look at what some of those might be. You do not want to put your employee in the uncomfortable position of wanting to serve the customer and provide excellent service without giving them the necessary systems or procedures that enable them to follow through. I was asked by a state agency to provide customer service training, and knowing that systems are important, I said, it's possible that your employees already know how to provide customer service that's excellent. You may have systems and procedures that are making it difficult for them. If I find that, or do you have a commitment to change those so that you can help your employees provide the service you want them to provide? And they agreed. And indeed, that is what we found. Certainly, there were employees who needed customer service training. They did not have a customer service mentality, and their managers needed to know that and to help them so that they could fulfill the customer service mission. But there were policies and procedures that got in the way, and we're going to look at some of them. First of all, you want to empower the employees who are closest to the customer situation to make the required decisions to resolve the issues. How many times have you gone in to talk to a customer service center because you're unhappy with the service you've been provided, and they say, well, that's above my pay grade. That's, I'm sorry, that's what our policies say. And then you have to ask to talk to the manager. It would be so much better if those customer service reps were authorized to make the necessary decisions within boundaries, and those boundaries can be set by the management. But we don't want customers having to go through several hoops in order to get their issue heard and resolved. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that customers are always right, nor that their desire to have some resolution is always appropriate. I'm just saying that when possible, you want the employees closest to the situation to be authorized to make decisions. You want to identify and resolve inconsistent performance expectations. For example, and this is one of the issues that was apparent in that agency, make sure employees are not placed in a catch-22 situation where they are expected on one hand to meet the customer's satisfaction, while on the other hand, they're evaluated on the basis of the number of customers served in a given period of time. If you think about the times that you've been unhappy as a customer, and those tend to be the times that we remember the best, you probably remember that you needed to talk things through. You wanted someone to be able to listen to your grievance, hear what you want to be resolved, and then have a dialogue. Well, that takes time. So expecting that an employee is going to just zoom through different customers doesn't lead us to believe that many of those customers are going to feel satisfied. Confirm that when one department makes promises to customers, the other departments can deliver on those promises. In manufacturing, this can be a real issue. If the salespeople are selling customers on something that engineering hasn't been able to figure out yet, or production hasn't been able to produce yet in sufficient qualities to meet customer needs. Provide incentive programs for quality customer service. Conduct customer surveys and act on their responses when feasible. The last thing you want to do is, when you are surveying anyone, is ignore their input. Look for patterns. There are going to be outliers on both sides. Somebody wanting too much, somebody wanting too little. But when you hear a pattern of responses, then you know that that's an area that you want to deal with, and you want to deal with immediately, if at all possible. And this also goes to employee surveys when you're doing morale surveys. The last thing you want to do is have people say, well, it's meaningless. They don't ever listen to us anyway. If that's true, then don't bother sending out any employee surveys. And don't do that to your customers. If you ask them, pay attention to what they say. Check to see that the employees have the training and tools to provide the desired customer service. That goes back to the customer service mentality and the characteristics and qualities you want your employees to have and to demonstrate. Definitely keep them up to date on policy changes that affect customers. Very often, that information can get bogged down at some level in the organization, and it doesn't get to the employee in a timely fashion. And there's nothing that puts egg on the face of the organization and certainly on the employee if there is a policy that has been changed and the employee doesn't know about it, but the customer does. Provide the technology they need to effectively perform their work. If they are supposed to access information, make sure they're able to do that. I worked with another state agency where the poor employees trying to serve the customers and at the counter had to go through a whole bunch of different systems, computer systems, to get all the information they needed rather than going to one system that gave them everything at the same time. Also, review the forms and other paperwork required of customers. Make sure they're as clear as possible with samples of completed forms and detailed instructions to complete them. Haven't you ever been terribly frustrated by some form that it was incomprehensible? You didn't know why they were asking what they were asking, and they weren't asking what you needed them to ask. Make sure those customer forms make sense. Let's talk. If you would like help in learning how to create a customer service culture and maintain that customer service culture, please schedule time to talk using the QR code or using the URL or the QR code. Next week, we are going to end this series by looking at finally putting it all together. How do we provide quality customer service? We've defined it. We have a mission. Our employees have the right mentality. There are systems and policies and procedures in place that support it. Ultimately, what is it going to look like? So please join us next week when we look at how to provide quality customer service. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much for coming and participating in our discussion of what managers need to know. You can find the videos of this and previous sessions on my YouTube channel or under events on my LinkedIn profile. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost. Lead the way, every day, find success, it's here to stay. Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost. Lead the way, every day, find success, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Oh, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Yeah. Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost.